Okay, hello, I am Rebecca. I'm going to do my demonstration speech on loose leash walking. I have my lovely audience here with me. Hello, audience. Well, that was my audience. Okay, awesome. Thank you guys for joining me for this awesome speech. So, I'm going to do it on, like I said, loose leash walking, but before I get into that, I'm going to go over the type of training we're going to be doing, which is positive reinforcement training, and that is when we use positive reinforcement, not positive reinforcement, but when we use a reward or something positive for the dog to do what we want rather than negative punishment where we punish the dog for doing something bad. We also have different kind of methods we use where we would, like, let's say lure the dog, where we use a treat or something that they love, something that builds their motivation to do something we ask them to. Or we could shape them, which basically gets them in a different position but step by step, which usually takes longer. We also have, let's see, the catching method. And the catching method is basically when we catch the dog in the act. So we're going to be focusing more on the luring method. And cameraman, you can take a seat if you like. There you go, no problem. You're welcome for that. And with the luring method, we're going to be using tiny treats, stinky. We don't want it to be too big because then it kind of throws the dog off their game. So with loose leash walking, first off, we need to understand what it means. It means the dog will walk 6 feet in front of you, 6 feet behind you, and 6 feet beside you. Okay, at no point in time is that dog to pull, cause stress or tension on that leash. And I say 6 feet because typically we use a 6-foot leash. With bigger dogs, you use 4 feet, and with smaller dogs, you use 6 feet. It really doesn't matter. However, it's that pulling and that stress and tension we really want to get through to them. Now, before we try to take a bad habit out of a dog, it's useful for us and helpful for them for us to try to understand why they do it in the first place. So why do dogs pull? Nobody? All right, so dogs pull because they weren't born on a leash. They pull because you snap that leash on them, you take them outside, and it's a bunch of different senses, okay? So they have their smell, they can smell the grass, the trees, different dog pee, they see the sky, flowers, squirrels, cats. It's just too much going on. So you really can't expect them to just sit there and walk next to you just because you say so. With that being said, we want to not just teach them how to walk on a leash, but we also want to get them used to the leash, pretty much incorporate it every day to where they don't even care about pulling on the leash. So we're going to be using, and you can follow me this way actually to the kitchen. Thank you. I'll be back, guys. And we're going to grab a spoon of peanut butter, okay? So you're going to get a big spoon, get some peanut butter on it, and this is what we're going to be using to teach our dog how to loose leash walk. And I do have a dog. Kisses! She'll be with us shortly, I think. She ran away from me for a little bit. So, like I said, we are going to have our spoon, guys. And we don't want to get too much peanut butter. Like I said, we stick it in the freezer so it doesn't get big clumps in the dog's mouth and that kind of stuff. We're going to start inside. It helps. It takes away from all those distractions rather than practicing outside. And we're going to walk in figure 8. All right, so in those figure 8s, we're going to have the spoon right by our side. We don't want it too high to where the dog can't reach it, because then there's no motivation there. We don't want it too low to where they're looking at the entire time, because that takes away from the whole point of the reward. We want it just at the right spot so that they're just following us within that figure 8. And I say figure 8 because if I were to walk in a circle for 5 minutes straight, then I'd be bored, okay? I wouldn't want to do anything else after walking in the circle. I probably wouldn't even pay any attention to this peanut butter. So I would walk in this figure 8 over and over again, and you're going to say the dog's name. We're going to get into our mechanics. You'll say the dog's name, which gets their attention. You're going to give them their cue, and your cue for loose leash walking is let's go, keeping it short and simple. Then we give them their marker, and I'm going to use yes, okay? Their marker tells them that whatever they're doing is correct. So you're going to say your dog's name, let's go, and as they follow you, you'll tell them yes and give them a lick of peanut butter. So, for example, like I said, my dog ran away from me. Maybe she'll be back later. I don't know what happened, guys. And I will say, kisses, let's go. Yes, give her a lick of peanut butter. Kisses, let's go. Yes, kisses, let's go. Yes, kisses, let's go. Yes, kisses, let's go. Yes, and in your head, once you say it enough time, it kind of sounds like a song, like a nice little harmonic tune in your head, and that's what you want. Now, that's only the first week. Okay, the first week, no leash, get your spoon of peanut butter, figure eights. Your second week, you're going to clip that leash on, and you're just gonna let it drag on the floor, okay? Not do anything. And you're just gonna let the dog relax and do the exact same thing. Walk in your figure eight with your spoon of peanut butter, and you're just going to let that leash drag. So I'd say kisses, let's go. Yes, kisses, let's go. Yes, kisses, let's go. Yes, kisses, let's go. Yes. Now, for your third week is when you get to choose what side you want the dog walking on. And when you decide, it's going to be permanent. Okay, so I want my dog walking on, let's say, my right-hand side. So if I want my dog walking on my right-hand side, I'm going to hold the leash with my left hand. Okay, and by doing so, the leash is going to cross my body. All right, so with the leash on my left hand, my dog on my right, the leash is going to cross my body to where it picks up that extra slack. I won't have to pull on that leash because whenever I walk, it's going to hit my hip and it'll take care of that slight change in direction. I'll also have my peanut butter still, and I'll be luring her, saying kisses, let's go, and as she follows, yes, and of course give her her reward. Okay, we always want to reward our dogs when they do whatever we have them do correctly. All right, so with that being said, does anyone have any questions about that so far?
No.
Okay, well, oh, and something else I forgot. You won't necessarily have to use the peanut butter at all times. You can use treats. The only reason we don't use treats is because we don't want to give them an excess amount while we're practicing the loose leash walking. Other than that, thank you all for coming, and I hope everyone has a good night.